everyone and welcome to the Bougie Fujoshi channel. For those who know me, hello again, and for those who don't, I hope you stick around because today it's a new year and it's time for some new manga. So we're just gonna jump straight into it, class. Starting off with the reason why this haul is so big in the first place, we have Requiem of the Rose King volumes 2 through 14 by Aya Kano Sensei. If you're a fan of the classics, this dark twisted play on them just might be for you. The third son of the House York, Richard, believes that he is damned from birth to eternal darkness. But is it really fate or his longings that set him on the path for self-destruction? It's the War of the Roses and Richard's father has the dominoes lined up to become the King of England. But just as he sees the light at the end of the tunnel, Papa Richard is cut down. Literally. Plunged into despair, Richard seeks revenge. Aya Kano Sensei's dark fantasy is based on the early draft of Shakespeare's Richard III, where in this version a man who could be king finds himself standing between worlds, between classes, and towing the line between good and evil. Now you might be wondering, girl, why are you starting at volume 2? Where's 1? Well, the funny story is that I read 1 like ages ago, and when I was ready to read volume 2, it was always out of stock. So when the anime was announced last year, I just took it as a sign that it was okay to pause reading. But when I saw the restock of it, I could not refuse. I got all of this at the beginning of the new year and read all 13 volumes here in about the span of 3 or 4 days. I'm actually glad that I caught up in the manga rather than waiting on the anime in this case, because it wasn't executed in the way that I thought it was gonna be. However, I will say that it is exceptionally cast, and I'm no animator, so I'm just glad that it had a chance to get animated in the first place. Captivating does not even begin to describe Sensei's art style for me. It was recently announced not too long ago that volume 17 will be the last, and it's currently on volume 16 in the original Japanese release, so the English release isn't that far behind. These were 4 of my favorite volume covers, and overall I can't wait to see what's in store for these characters as it reaches the end, so you'll definitely be seeing more of Richard in the months to come. Volume 17 of Soreta Akiduki Sensei, Snow White with the red hair. Kiki's potential hubbies are being attacked one after the other, and Mitsuhide has been put behind bars as the prime suspect. But Zen in the class knows that it's free Mitsuhide until it's backwards, because this man would never. Y'all already know I love me some Shirayuki Hime, alright? Never miss an update or a beat from this English release as we slowly but surely creep up behind the original release at volume 24. With my Shirayuki Obi Zen crumbs on the line, your girl has to get her food when she can. Our rom-com adventures continue with My Love Mix-Up Volume 2 by Aruko and Wataru Hinakure Sensei. In the midst of the whole kerfuffle with Hashimoto's eraser, Aoki not only realized his crush for Ida, but he also flunked his quiz, giving him the perfect opportunity for a study date. Aoki, Akun, and Hashimoto meet up for a study sesh at Ida's house, where after a lot of math problems, Aoki and Ida talk about what they are to each other, if they can even figure that one out. Thanks to the lovely translating team at Viki, I was able to watch the English sub for the live action adaptation of My Love Mix-Up, and y'all, it was absolutely hilarious. I know lives aren't everyone's cup of tea, but it's one that I definitely enjoyed, and if you also like lives, I'd say plop it on to your never-ending watch list for sure. The live was very true up to the chapters that I've read so far, but the series is ongoing and on volume 7, so I'm interested to see what other parts of the story there are. The final volume, number 12 of Love Me Not by Io Sakisaka Sensei. Love and friendship have become quite complicated for these 4 friends. With the notice of Akari and Ryo's father's overseas transfer, things really start to shake up for the class. Ryo is a 100% unisimp through and through, so he already knows that he wants to stay in Japan to be with her. But on our other ship, Inui thinks that Akari should go and live abroad, even though they'll be apart. This series wasn't enough of an emotional roller coaster for me. This final volume was the surprise drop and jump scare at the end of the ride. This is the second series from Io Sakisaka Sensei that I have completed reading, and I'm so happy to have been able to. And the ending of this one, y'all, oh my god, gosh! The series debut of Double Volume 1 by Ayako Noda Sensei, Takada Takadata, and Yujin Kamoshima are actors in the same theater troupe who happen to live beside each other. When Yujin is cast as Takada's double, he sees firsthand his extraordinary acting skills and is absolutely blown away. From that moment on, he's determined to help him succeed and support him in his dream of becoming a world-renowned actor, even if that means Yujin has to be in his shadow forever. But that's easier said than done when the acting world actually starts to take notice. Now, I've been around these parts before, and Sensei's pen has too, so I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying everything. I love stories that have that one character that's been tirelessly cultivating the same craft as that raw, talented character, and they become obsessed with them in rivalry and or support. Chef kiss. Behind the scenes stories of acting that peels back the veil into more of the twisted aspects of the craft are always interesting to me, so you will definitely catch me reading these upcoming volumes, okay? Surprise, surprise, another final volume in this haul, Love Me For Who I Am, Volume 5 by Kato Koniyama Sensei. After braving the night with their sister and a trip to the hospital, we finally get the 411 on Mogumo's family backstory in this volume. Between Mogumo's struggle with gender dysmorphia and the pain of an unsupportive family, life has been far from easy. In this final volume, despite the friction between their family ties, Mogumo decides to reach out for reconciliation. I enjoyed reading this series from start to finish, and one part that I really liked about the story was that no side character was left behind. Everyone at the cafe question had their own stories revealed throughout, so it gave me a better understanding of the entire cast and also how each of them became important to Mogumo as both friends and support. I had a lovely time reading this series, and I hope that others give it a chance as well. The fourth omnibus of Blue Giant by Shinichi Ishizuka Sensei. Live from Japan comes Jazz. A throwback to the early days of jazz, Dai's new band finally has a name. The boys are pulling in real numbers now and winning their first big old paycheck, along with the jealousy of some who've had their skin in the game for a lot longer. However, Mr. Piano Man Yukinori isn't satisfied with just playing in clubs. Our man has his sights set on the biggest venue in all of Tokyo, So Blue. Yukinori may be a technical genius and Dai may have an unmatchable sound, but can they really hope to hit it big time with a newbie drummer? In class, my answer is 100% yes. The next omnibus will have volumes 9 and 10, which ends out this first segment of the Blue Giant series. Following Dai's origin story has been a wild time, so I'm excited to see how it turns out in the next part. But what I'm really excited for is the announcement of the Blue Giant anime movie. I've mentioned before how much I'd love to see this animated, especially because I want to hear Dai play so bad. All three of the characters in Jazz are on the visual for the movie announcement, so I'm assuming that it's going to cover all 10 volumes in more of a condensed fashion. I really hope that I'll be able to watch it someday with English subs, so I'm staring at Funimation and Crunchyroll directly, but also patiently. Manly Appetites Volume 3 by Mito Sensei. Otsu likes Minikishi, Minikishi likes Otsu, but the relationship still needs a bit more time in the oven. Just as Otsu is trying to find out what he should do about the whole ring situation, he spots Minikishi with a girl. We find out just what this means for their budding relationship in the final volume of this series. Yes, final. I swear everything has just been ending left and right around me. Jeez! This is another very BL light series, as in LITE, that I definitely read again to warm up my little heart. Each volume is fairly short, so if you're looking for a quicker read, this might be for you. My Senpai is Annoying Volume 2 by Shiro Manta Sensei. Igarashi and her annoying senpai Takeda are growing ever closer. Each day is filled with comic mishaps and romantic moments as Igarashi tries to balance work, life, and love. Every time I pick up the copies, I remember that it's in full color and I'm like, wow! Not gonna lie, I just picked up the second volume to hit the free shipping mark when I was getting all those Requiem of the Rose King volumes off of Right Stuff, but I'm glad I did. The anime came out this past season, and to me, in comparison to the manga, they really reeled it in. And I'm not sure if they even plan to do a second season based off of the way that it ended. Honestly, if I just watched the show, I wouldn't expect anything between these two. However, the side characters, they were serving them a full meal in that studio, okay? Y'all know I love me some side character love because they deserve Volume 16 of Paru Itagaki Sensei's Beastars. Legoshi is still in cahoots with the current Beastar to try and apprehend the mixed species melon, but we take a detour in our story to see Little Miss Thing Juno meet up with Louie and learn why he can't be with her even if he wanted to. Juno and Legoshi have some wolfy bonding time over the drawbacks they both face being in love with beasts of another species. Not long after, Legoshi falls into a trap that he can't escape without the aid of a stranger, and Louie gets an offer that he might not be able to refuse. Just as my description, volume 16 was all over the place with my brain cell oohing and awing at each development. I know it probably will, but y'all, if any of this gets cut in the anime, I'm going to cry. The concepts in Beastars are honestly just so cool to me, and I get excited with each volume that comes in. We're creeping in on the end of the series, so I'm ready for my jaw to drop again in the next volume. Boys Run the Riot Volume 4 by Keito Gaku Sensei. Now that the Tsubasa drama has cooled down, Ryo and his friends are back on track creating new designs for Boys Run the Riot. While they find themselves in a bit of a rut, Ryo bumps into a fan named Joe, who has been running his own fashion brand for about 20 years. The boys get put to the test to think up their brand message, motive, and concept. All of this is in order to prepare them for their brand's debut at Joe's exhibition. The boys who once dreamed of changing the world with their clothes are now ready to take the stage in this final volume of the series. It feels just like yesterday when I picked up the first volume in this series, but even though it's always bittersweet to see a story end, I'm glad that it got licensed, and I hope that more people will be able to read and enjoy this story as well. Yet another series in this haul has come to an end with the final volume of Sweat and Soap by Kintatsu Yamada Sensei. With the ceremony just around the corner, there is still so much to be done. Finalizing the guest list, sending out invitations, picking out wedding favors, figuring out flower arrangements. The tasks are endless and exhausting, but what is a bit of blood, sweat, and tears with a dash of stress, all for the sake of the big day? As soon as I opened my package and saw the cover, I was in my bag. I think I started reading Sweat and Soap around the same time that I initially started this YouTube channel, so it's wild to see that I've started it here and also ended it here as well. It's been well worth the wild ride of tears watching the progression of Asuko and Kotoro's relationship. I was so happy to see the announcement of the live action adaptation that will be coming out this year. I really hope that there's an official service out there that will provide English subs for this series because I'm already starved for content. The final titles I'm about to mention are rated M for mature, which means you must be 18 years or older to buy in or read these series. The long-awaited 6th volume of Ten Dance by Inoue Sato Sensei is finally here. Oh my goodness. 3 words, 8 letters, say it and I'm yours. Gold stars for those who picked up what I was putting down just then. I love you were the last words that Suzuki softly said to Sugiki before the two parted ways. Although the two have restarted their dance lessons since, it is clear neither of them can forget their shared past. As they both struggle to suppress their residual feelings for each other, a man appears on the scene who will change their destiny forever. I can't tell you how many times the release date for this kept getting pushed, and my poor heart was coming to the edge for real, y'all. I'm so glad that it's here now, but the way that it ended, I'm already on the edge of my seat for the next volume. This will hopefully be the final time that I say final volume in this haul, but we're wrapping up this video with the 3rd and final volume of Bad Boys Happy Home by Showa and Hiromasa Okujima Sensei. 7 has disappeared, and when Akamatsu goes looking for him, he learns of his shocking past. The two have grown up in vastly different worlds, but the time they spent together still burns brightly. Sometimes all it takes is a good fist fight to find true love. They almost had me in the end there, and I was getting choked up for a second, but then they turned it around, and you know we love to see it, y'all. Another series comes to the end, but they say that all good things do, so here we are, class. Alright, so that is everything I've read so far at the start of this new year. Also wanted to share with the class my latest room edition, and that is my new shelf. It's not exactly like my other one, but it's close enough for my brain cell not to scream in terror. The aesthetic part of my brain is still trying to figure out how I want to arrange things on this one, and I've mainly shifted my completed series and longer spines onto it for now, but nonetheless I've advanced as a human being by assembling IKEA furniture. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you did today, make sure you hit that like, subscribe before you leave, but that's all I have for today, so bye!